Alrighty, welcome to assignment number 1, talking about fractions, decimals, and percentages. We're going to start out with question number 1. Explain the decimal place scale, which is we're going to start out at 0, and then we're going to look at the tenths, which is 0.1, and that's because there is a 0 before the 1. And then we're going to look at the hundredths, which is 0.01, which is 2 zeros before the 1. And then the thousandths place, which is 3 zeros before the 1. And then we're going to look at the ones place, the tenths place, and the hundredths, I believe. Oh, never mind. So when looking at this, we are going to count zeros before or after the number. And basically, the way I can kind of explain this is that 0.1 is 10 backwards, and 0.01 is 100 backwards. Now we are going to look at question number 2, which is show how to express the following fractions in decimal form. 120 and 30 over 100 as decimals. Now you're going to multiply 120 by 5 in order to, or 1 over 20 by 5 in order to get that to the hundredths area. And so that's going to be 5 over 100. And so then we look at that, and that is going to be simplified down to 0.05. And now we are going to look at 30 over 100 as a decimal. And it's already in the hundredths place, so we don't have to multiply. And so it's just going to be 0.30 because the 3 is before. Now we are going to look at question number 3, which is a patient has taken 1/4, 1/2, 1 1/2, and 3/4 tablet. In total, how many tablets has the patient taken? And so first we are going to write out 1/4 plus 1/2 plus 1 1/2, but I would prefer to write this in 3/2. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to end up erasing that and putting it as 3/2 instead of 1 1/2. And then we are going to add 3/4. And so to get this, we are going to multiply each place by the other number, basically, which I'll show how this is done. And so we're going to multiply 1/4 by 2. We're going to multiply 1/2 by 4. We're going to multiply 3/2 by 4. And we're going to multiply 3/4 by 2. And so 1/4 by 2 is going to be 2/8. And that's going to be added to 4/8. And that will be added to 12/8. And then that will be added to 6/8. And then you can now see that they all have the same denominator, so it makes it easier to add. And so we're going to add 2/8 and 4/8 together, which is going to equal 6/8. And we're going to add 12/8 and 6/8 together, and that's going to equal 18/8. And then we'll add those two numbers together, and it's going to equal 24/8. Or if we divide that, that's going to be 3 tablets in total. Now we are going to look at question number 4. Convert the following fractions into percentages: 5/12 and 2/3. So we're going to write 5/12 down, and so the way I do it is I always just divide 5 by 12 to get the decimal number. And so that is going to be 0.416, but it's going to be 0.416666. But I would like to round to like the nearest thousandths here. And so I accidentally didn't round, but I realized that and I put 7 instead of 6. So it's going to be 0.417, and then that's going to be 41.7%. And now we're going to look at 2/3. And so again, I just like to divide 2 by 3, or you can think of how 1/3 is 0.333, just that's 0.6666. So that would be 0.667, which is 66.7%. Now we're going to look at question number 5. Convert the following percents to fractions, then reduce to the lowest terms: 2% and 27%. And so we're going to take 2% and convert it into its decimal counterpart, which is going to be 0.02. And then we notice that there is 2 zeros, so that's going to be 2 over 100, or that can also be written as 1 over 50. I'm just checking that on my calculator. And now we're going to look at 27%. And so that is going to be 0.27. And we are kind of still 2 away from the decimal point, which is technically 2 before. So that's going to equal 27 over 100, because we are in the hundredths place. And then I was just checking to make sure there wasn't a lowest term for this one. So 27 divided by 3 does equal 9, but 100 divided by 3 does not equal anything. 27 over 100 is the lowest term. Anyways, that was assignment 1, looking at fractions, decimals, and percentages.